we'll get to that. I don't want that to be first. Let's go. Oh, we're live. Shit. Shoot. Bang. How you doing?
Hi,
Hi. What's
how are
up?
you? You doing
I'm good.
okay?
How are you?
I'm
Yeah, I'm
I'm
good.
I'm great. I'm fabulous.
You're fabulous. I am too. Look at all the new little arranging that I got to do before the show tonight.
You got a lot of flags now, huh?
I do. I got some new stuff hanging up, man. And I was able to fit everything, kind of like everything's fitting into the frame. Like I'm not gonna be able to add much more before it looks it's not gonna be able to see it. But yeah, I can move out of the way there and you can see the latest happening. The Stop Traffic Beard Battle 2 is coming up November 25th. You can check out the Facebook page for details on that. Good evening, Mr. Baker.
Hey, Mr. Baker,
Good evening, Mr. William. And
can you
Facebook
not
user.
can you not do
What?
comments?
No, I can't. I mean, I can, but I'm going to be going like this because somebody was nice enough to give me a laptop. It's a fairly nice laptop, and it works wonderfully. Like I mean, it loads everything. I can browse the internet. I can do everything on this thing. I
Hi,
can log
Yukon.
into stream. What's up, Yukon? I can log into StreamYard. Everything works fine. Like even backstage, everything works fine. The second we hit go live, it freezes up every time.
Hmm.
So it's now become a desk ornament. Um, because
Desk
I
ornament.
don't a desk ornament um, until I figure out or get another one. So yeah,
So, I'd like to thank Andrew Orton 10 times over. And then in 5 seconds, y'all will see why. Because we have a new and improved intro,
I'm
and
Evan Paps.
let's get on with the show.
Let's get on with the show.
Was that beautiful or was that beautiful?
That man, I got some goosebumps going on over here, buddy. And that's not even the first time I've seen it, and I've got goosebumps.
Oh my god.
Man,
That was some
that
dope
was
ass that was dope.
that was awesome.
Um Andrew Orton, sir, thank you. I appreciate
Yes,
it.
Mr. Orton,
Um
you are the man. Thank you,
thank you so much for that. Mr. Shields, how you doing,
Mr.
sir?
Mr. McGee,
Mr.
Mr.
McGee,
Shields.
Mr. Baker, asshole, Wolverine. Uh French toast. What's up, French toast?
What up, French toast? French toast sounds so good. I'm so
Oh my
hungry right
god.
now.
Doesn't it? Did you see Mim was in one of the pictures on our intro now?
I did see that. Mim and Paps both were they not?
Yeah, they were both
Yeah,
on it. Yeah.
yeah, yes, sir. That's right. You're running with the pack, baby.
So tonight we have Battle Born on, and we have Mr. Chris Hall on. Him and the beneficiary for the comp is on. They're going to be talking about the comp and whatever else they get into. So we're not going to beat around the bush. Real quick, I was in Cincinnati with this asshole next to me this weekend. Country, thank you so much for your hospitality. Thank you for picking me up and dropping me off at the last minute on Sunday.
Hey, you always say, I mean, I don't want to make you drive. I would do it every day if I had to. It's not every day that, you get brothers that come in from Texas, for a comp. So, you came up from Texas. Mr. McGee came down from Michigan, Pennsylvania. Mr. McGee come
Yeah,
down from. Yeah. So,
Michigan.
it was, I wish that we had had more time. I wanted to get back and kind of, I had plans in my head that, we did have a little bonfire or whatnot. But after we went to Waffle House after the comp and we got back and everybody was just pooped. And,
What's up, Bizarre?
we weren't
I
in my,
know.
we weren't in my house for 10 minutes before everybody was literally already in bed snoring. And it was fun though. I'm glad that I was able to provide the safe haven and be the ride that everybody needed. Man, I gotta give a shout out to Ducky, Mr. Ryan Daniels. He I don't know. Most of you, I'm sure, watching know who Mr. Ducky is, Ryan Daniel, and man, he had a great time.
Yeah, yeah.
He had a great enough time for all of us watching.
He had a great time for 4 people.
And then you ended up spooning with him, correct?
I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
I got pictures.
I got pictures. I got pictures.
I'm just fucking with you. I don't. All right, let's get on with our show. Let's get on with our show.
Let's get on with the show.
What up, Mr. Johnny? Love you, brother.
Yes, and our main man, Animal, he's down and out right now. Hope you feel better. But yes, him and his beautiful wife was at the comp with us, and Mim and Paps, and oh my God, we had a blast.
It was a great turnout.
See, there he is right there. What's up, Animal? Let's go ahead and get on with this show. We have a good viewership, so let's bring on Chris Hall.
Howdy.
Mr.
What
Hall,
up, buddy?
you, sir?
How are we?
Jacob, brother, anytime. Doing great, my man.
Mr. Hall, you have a comp coming up at the end of October. Is that correct?
I do believe so. October 23rd is the last date of it, and we'll be announcing the winners on October 25th on Running with the Pack.
Ooh.
If it's all okay with you all, that is.
Oh,
I guess.
You know it.
Well, I appreciate the audience and allowing us to come on and talk. Mr. Yarnell should be available soon, I hope, and he's a benefactor.
Yes, he's patiently waiting backstage.
What up, Cole?
We got Battle Borne, the comp, and let's go over real quick some of the information. On the 23rd is the last day, and so as of now until the 23rd, they can continue to start entering, submitting their.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. All the information is online there on the comp page, and I've also plastered it on many pages out there. And as it states at the top there, Mr. Yarnell, he can talk about it a little bit more, but we had a competition in June, and my benefactor got their money in, and he was the other benefactor, and he did not receive his. So I'm doing everything I can to make it up to him in every way I can. We've done little things like selling stickers and selling patches and everything like that to try to make up. So I decided to do an online comp and see what we can do with that, and try to get as much money back to him as we can.
Right.
And that's nicest way I can say it.
Absolutely. There's a lot that, I think a lot of people want to say, have said, are going to continue to say about this. The fact that you are still pushing forward, to and doing what you don't even have to do, because for all of you watching out there, I was there. I witnessed with my eyes Mr. Hall hand his half of the money after it was counted by several people, treasurers, the important people that were there, that handled the money part of it. Witnessed with my eyes Mr. Hall hand the money to the charity because they were there in person as well. So, the fact that you're still pushing forward and trying to make this right, that says tons about you. And I'm standing with you every step of the way, brother. You know that. We all
Yeah,
are.
there's a lot of negative talk going on with a lot of things. There's a lot of issues going on out here in the bearding community, and I just want to say, this is a community of people that we support each other. There are questions and issues going on, but we need to stand together and do what we can to take care of what has been lost, and that's what I'm attempting to do. There's going to be bad apples and everything, especially in this community we're in. But we have to come together as a community and support each other and make things happen. I'm not going to let up. I've got my hands involved in 3 different competitions going on right now, and I'm doing everything I can do to show that I'm reliable and I'm here to help in any way, form, fashion. Appalachian Bearded Mafia page, it's open for anything and everything, from products to memes to whatever. We're there and we're open. We're going to support each other, and that's just all there is to it.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I don't need a booster chair. I'm just short, damn it.
So you did see that.
I did see that.
That's funny. So I tell you what, with that being said, let's go ahead and bring on our guest with Battleborn, Mr. Chris Yarnell.
Hello, Mr. Chris Yarnell. How are you,
Welcome,
sir?
brother.
Welcome. Thank you guys for having me tonight.
Hey, thank you for taking the time to be on, brother. We really appreciate
No worries.
it. What's going on, Charms?
Super.
Go ahead and tell us about Battleborn and what y'all do and what y'all's mission.
Awesome. Well, first, forgive me, guys. At the end of the day, I'm working all day and yelling at a 12-year-old, a deaf pit bull, and a stubborn bulldog. I barely have any voice left. And don't feel bad, Chris. I'm about 5'4" on a good day. So I want to say thank you before I give you a little bit of a spiel about Battleborn, you guys, for what you're doing. And as Big Country was talking about, a huge shout out to Mr. Hall for stepping up. As he stated, we could not make that fundraiser. I had wanted to come down. We had another event that weekend, and I was persuaded that it wasn't a big deal. But one of our key components at Battleborn is my wife and I started this from another nonprofit that we were a part of that we broke off of because of things like taking donations of events that they weren't supporting, right? So one of our pride thing is we don't accept a donation from a fundraiser that we can't support or be a part of. But I was assured that weekend that the 7-hour trip for a 4-hour event would not be necessary. I mean, I wish I could tell you how many conversations I had with like trying to get down there, and it just was like, nah, man, we understand you're like 7.5 hours away from Virginia. It's not really worth you coming down. So, or else I would have been there and I would have really looked forward to meeting you guys. So that being said, real quick, again, thank you to Mr. Hall. It was never our intention to even bring up that this kind of happened. I just remember when a few of you guys reached out to me and, talked about the fundraiser, and it was about 2 months afterwards, and I had to relay that I never received a donation, but I want it to be known that it wasn't something that I was stressing or making a big deal about. It is what it is, and we're a charity, man, and we just keep pushing forward. So I really, I want to say thank you to the whole bearded community for the way you guys stepped up to rectify what you thought was wrong. And for that, you have my utmost respect. So Battleborn, Vets Helping Vets. A lot of us served. We ran into difficulties. I spent about 15 years of my life wandering around after the Marine Corps, trying to find productive things to do. And I need to tell you guys that I found everything but productive things to do, right? I'm sure you can figure it out. Fighting, drinking, arrests, all that good stuff that we don't like to talk about publicly. Can't believe I just said that on a live show. Anyway, seem to have found my way. Got connected with some good people. They got me into volunteering. probably on like my second DUI in 2012. I'm sitting at home, I'm on probation, and a buddy of mine who retired from the Army 20 years says to me, "Hey man, let's go out with this group. They're going to go out and help homeless vets." And guys, I'm a straight shooter, right? My first thought was, and I don't know if you can curse on here, so I'll keep it.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, my first thought was,
What
the fuck would I want to do that for? Like, why would I want to go outside and go to a homeless camp? And, that didn't even make sense to me, right? That's how wrapped up in my mental health was, that I couldn't see past anything being productive. Like, how is this, like, I don't mean to sound like a jerk. It wasn't that I didn't care about people or didn't want to help people, but I was just so far gone that didn't even make any type of logical sense. Well, I'm going to tell you guys something I don't speak about very often. That day changed my whole entire life. It was like the sense of purpose and like the sense of fulfillment that I had going out there and being, sorry, my dogs are pushing the door. I was like, is it ghosts? It reinstated meaning back into my life. Like, I went out there and I just saw things that I couldn't believe. Here I am. I'm destroying my life, and there are people out there who would probably kill to be in the position that I'm throwing away. You guys tracking?
Yeah, very much so.
Reality check big time.
Oh, I don't want to. Please, I'm never the guy that make myself feel better by looking down. Like, it's not that kind of a party. It was like, I got to do something, man. This is in my backyard. Like, I didn't realize that many people were living like that, So that day I came home and I was just like, something changed, something clicked. I had that. For those of us that served, I'm sure I know Mr. Hall can attest to this.
Very much so.
I always say this when I get asked to speak. There's something about, if you're under the age of 75 and you weren't drafted, there's something about vets and first responders and just people in general that are like us here. You guys are doing something. You're doing a mission, man. You're trying to help people with what your wheelhouse is, with what you are passionate about, right? So people like us, it doesn't just have to be vets. I say people like us all the time. There's something in our DNA. We're wired this way. And when we're not doing that, when we're not living up to the things that we can do to benefit other people, there's something missing, man. Like, it's like something's not firing. And, if you're, especially
Amen
for veterans,
that.
Thanks. If we're for veterans, man, the guys I come across if they're not doing, man, if they're not serving, if they're not living in that purpose, you can just see it. Something's missing. So that day when I came back, it was like, it was life changing. And I knew that I had been sleeping on the job, for a lack of a better term. So I started volunteering there, and I'll try to fast forward. I started volunteering there. And then I helped a buddy of mine who was a Marine, one of the first Marines in Fallujah, which was one of the baddest conflicts of the whole entire post 9/11. And this guy, he made it out, only lost 4 guys in 2 tours out of 100 Marines that he commanded. And, he wanted to do something to help vets with PTSD. So we started a nonprofit. He started a nonprofit. I helped him build it up. He asked me to be on his board. So now I'm volunteering at 2 spots, right? And I'm seeing, again, wired to fill in the gap, bridge the gap. What's not being done? No need to cookie cutter services. My biggest pet peeve, as being the only nonprofit in our area that is commended for working together with other people, is why create services that are already in existence? Because I feel like you don't create camaraderie, you don't create community, you create competition. And now it's about the money, and it isn't about the mission. Now it's about the vets not getting help because I'm too busy chasing the money. So we are a nonprofit organization that operates on no government grants. We are 90% self-funded through our purchase of our apparel. We sell online apparel, hats, T-shirts. We have jiu-jitsu fight wear. We have everything from beanies to kick-ass trucker caps, sweatpants, hoodies. Now it wasn't always like that. We started out of the trunk of our car with one t-shirt. And to give you the shorter version here, my wife and I volunteered. She was on the board of a service dog organization. I was on the board of the PTSD support group and homeless veteran outreach organization. And basically, we started to get sick of the shit that we saw. We started to get sick of, I would watch veterans come to these organizations. And, listen, my wife is an Army brat. God bless her, 8 years. She traveled around the country while her dad served in Korea. And, she gets it. But there's something about if you're a vet and you're watching other guys, knowing how hard it is. Guys, if you don't hear anything I say, know that it's fucking hard for vets and especially first responders that I come across to ask for help. And guys, I swear to you, I've seen it. I've lost like 5 guys in the last year. If they ask for help and they get told no, they're 99.9%, they're not asking again. So when I would watch veterans get turned away and be told, sorry, we don't do that. And I would, Mr. Hall, you know how Marines are. We don't bite our tongue. I step right up and I'm asking, can you explain this to me? Why did, go ahead, sir.
It's first you're through basic, you're brought into a part of your unit. You're together, you're watching each other's back, you're taking care of each other, period. No matter what political affiliation, no matter what sexuality, whatever, you're a group that watches over each other. I'm with you, Mr. Yarnell. I lived homeless for a year, and I woke up and I found the bearding community. And it seems like I've created so much destruction. I've done so much destruction in my life that I want to do good for the rest of my life. No matter whether you help an old lady across the street, put groceries in her trunk, you're just out there full-heartedly wanting to help people. And that is driven into us through the military service. I have 4 children now that has served and has served and still serving. And I pride myself on my children because they feel the same as I do. We're here as a group. We're here as brothers and sisters to help each other out. And the bearding community is such a home to me because we're able to do that. We're able to help each other out. That
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to point out there was a gentleman, the 2 names came up. Thanks for the shout out on the Battleborn hats. Appreciate that. But the gentleman that popped in and said as a first responder. So 3 of my team are there you go, Cole. Thank you. 3 of my team are police officers. We have a few firefighters. And we have a couple correction guys. And what I'm telling you is one of the team members is my cousin. He was in the Army. He is a retired police officer now. And they have educated me because as someone who is not law enforcement, never been law enforcement, as a matter of fact, spent years running away from law enforcement. I can tell you this. If you think vets have a tough time asking for help, like Chris said, it's instilled in us. Never show weakness, never surrender. Every single decision is life or death. Take the bull by the horns. Horns up, head down, keep it moving. No retreat, no surrender, all that stuff that they tell us, right? With that being said, my cousin as a police officer has told me, how it's the brothers before others. So I feel like they get a bigger whammy because they're learning this stuff in the service and then they're turning around becoming a police officer where now it's brothers before others. So that means you don't talk about nothing outside of what happens in this realm. So I feel like the first responders, especially if they were prior service members, they have it worse. And I'm sure Cole can attest to that. But, and there we have it. We have the president of the kids club of Battleborn just walking behind the Zoom. Hey, welcome. I got a 13-year-old, guys. I'll tell you see why I don't have any hair? But, before I forget, I just want to shout out, the whole reason I'm even involved in any of this amazing bearded community, as you guys keep talking about, is we met a fabulous group up here called the Bearded Villains East. Okay. So the one guy that introduced me to them, I spend a lot of time with him at the cigar lounge. I am a member of Sheepdog Cigar Club, which is military, first responders, and veterans. And, spending time at the Sheepdog Cigar Socials, I met one of the villains, and they do a lot of charity work, and they had picked us to be a benefactor of their beard competition. So that's how I got introduced to you guys. And by the way, that's where I met said gentleman who came to our first beard comp that we didn't put it on, the villains did. He came up, introduced himself, said, I love what you guys are doing, wanted to join our, get involved. So kept in touch with me. We do a big community walk in the Valley for mental health, 3 years now. So he came to that and continued to talk. And then that's when I was informed that, hey, we want to choose you along with Mr. Hall. So that's kind of how we're having this conversation now, just to give you a little background. So fast forward, being a part of 2 nonprofits, my wife on the board of a service dog organization, tired of hearing veterans told, sorry, we don't do that. So I would, address the situation with, can you explain to me why we turned away said veteran John Smith when we know that his need, Pennsylvania is a plethora of community organizations and nonprofits that work together. We are very lucky here in the Valley. Okay. I don't know where, I know you guys are from different places, but Pennsylvania is one of the highest state with a veteran population. It's because we don't have shit to do around here, right? It's cold, sucks. If you don't ski, it's not that fun. Anyway, you have a high vet population. There's a lot of nonprofits, and we're very fortunate from some of the other places I visited. We have 2 vets zooming in on our services, one from Georgia and one from Puerto Rico, that have absolutely nothing like what we do in their area. Nothing, not for hundreds and hundreds of miles. So that's just to give you a little example. So when I would hear these organizations that I was a part of tell vets, sorry, we don't do that, it would blow my mind. Like, well, why are we not sending them over there? Well, things that I were told were, well, that's not our mission. And I would lose my mind. Well, what do you mean it's not our mission? Like, I didn't understand back then, being a young guy wet behind the ears, that the mission sometimes was about money. It was more about profit over passion, right? And that's not who I am. So I would get myself in trouble now and then with my mouth, if anybody can relate.
I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah,
Bullshit,
I've never met.
Bullshit, you don't.
I have never met bearded guys that don't understand what I'm talking about. I just say. Yeah. All you guys that I've come across, I don't really find you guys to be too well reserved, if you get my drift.
There's a time and a place. There's a time and a place. Time and a place for sure.
Yeah, so I'm sure you can figure out where this is going after a few years of that stuff, man, and watching veterans get turned away, and me not understanding about grants and monies and chasing and data and tracking. And if I got to stop to help you, I take away from what I'm trying to do, and somehow along, William, I have no idea. It's hard to read sarcasm through text message, but I got that one.
Right,
he's definitely being sarcastic.
Yeah, man, you guys, I'm sure you guys can figure out what happened, man. It was basically, I said, this shit's got to stop. This shit's got to stop. There needs to be an organization that isn't only driven on what they're doing, but it's more about getting the need met.
Right.
And you know what, guys? I want to say this to you. I don't share this often. Nothing you'll ever see if you watch any of our live videos, nothing comes out of our mouths egotistically, but a lot of people told us it couldn't be done. They said things like, guys, you'll never make it. You won't sustain yourself. You'll spread yourself too thin. You're not going to make enough money to keep your own mission going. And guys, I got to tell you something. I smile like a shit-eating grin when the same people who told us that we wouldn't make it asked us if we would list them on our website as a resource. And if that's not a testimony, then that's not a brag, man. That's not who we are. We don't gloat. I'm just telling you that when you tell a bunch of vets that we can't do shit, we're not only going to do it, we're going to do it better than you even thought we could do it, because now we got to just show you like we could do it. So we came out the box. We asked nobody for money. That's why, like, Mr. Hall was shocked that I wasn't even complaining about the money. It's because we've never been about money from day one. But I have a very cool team that constantly reminds me at the end of the day, Chris, this is a business. If it was up to me, man, I'd give the shirts away. I don't care, because I've been able to do a lot with a little. You guys tracking? Like, I mean, I don't need $100,000 grants. We figured out ways to help many veterans with small means. So to wrap it up, we started, my wife and I, we said, we're done with this shit. We're not helping these people anymore. We're not helping them make money. We're not getting them more veterans for numbers. We're going to stop volunteering. But guys,
that's the sad thing about it, is it's all about the numbers. Usually with a lot of these organizations out here, they just want, well, we're helping X amount of vets out, and their help is not help. Their help is just numbers to help get grants.
Right.
Exactly. And that's why if you look on our stuff all over, you'll see the things that we did. I know I sent a couple pictures in of our Veterans Center that we opened up this year, all through community funding and partners like you guys, from donations. And again, oh, look, there's my wife. That's the she's the one that should be on the show, guys. She's the brains and the beauty. I'm just the beard, but hey, look at that guy. So ironically, that there's a little funny story behind that. I had been on the news many times for negative things. I'm sure you guys can imagine. Mr. Hall, I don't share it often too, but I went from being a homeless vet to being a homeowner. And we've helped 5 guys get from their credit repaired to getting them our real estate guy pre-pandemic, to working with our team of Marines at Heroes First Home Loans to getting them into houses. So that's not like, you're not going to read that in my mission statement. You're not going to read that we help veterans with housing. But the funny story behind that picture was that if you saw my post the other day, the joke is, oh my God, he's actually on TV and he's not in handcuffs. But
man.
Anyway, my wife and I stepped out. Post office wall. Yeah. My wife and I stepped out. In 2018, we took the down payment that we had on our home. We were living in a 1-bedroom apartment with the 12-year-old boy who walked by. And we said, we're not volunteering no more. And I said to my wife, a month later, here's the story, guys. A month later, there was something missing. I was like, something was eating at me. Like, I couldn't just walk away because vets were still not getting helped. So I said to my wife, now, guys, if you're married, anybody who's watching, when I tell you my wife is a superstar, you're going to know why. Any woman who's living in a 1-bedroom apartment with a 12-year-old boy, well, at the time he was 8, but we have a kid in a 1-bedroom. It's 2018. We don't have a home. And I say to my wife, hey, how would you feel if I took the down payment on the house and we started something that would be completely different than everything that's out there? And right. she said, let's go. I got you. Most women who didn't own a home would tell you to get your shit and get out. This woman said, no, let's do it. So we took the money out of our own pocket. We bought 1 t-shirt. We bought $1,000 worth of t-shirts, and we started going around to every single event that would let us have a table, and we'd sell those t-shirts. And what got us our recognition is we never asked for, hey, give us money so we can help people. It was, we're going to make our own money because we don't want to ask you for shit, because you know how people are when they're giving you money, they want to tell you what to do with it.
Right.
And we knew what needed to be done, and we wanted to do that instead of people saying, here's money, we want you to do this. So if you guys get a chance, because I don't want to hold up your whole entire meeting here, but I get excited about this shit. I get excited about pushing other organizations to do better.
Mr. Yarnell, this show is for you and for Mr. Hall. This whole show is about y'all and what we're doing to raise money through this comp that Mr. Hall is doing. But I have a question from one of our viewers. They wanted to know if y'all do care bags for the homeless.
So we not only do care bags. That's a great question. We not only do care bags. When we go out, I don't know if I sent you guys any pictures of us on the outreach missions. We pack up. We pack up full gear. I take a pack. I have 2 team members full pack, and we take out hygiene, non-perishable food items, bottles of water. Listen, something that's really frowned upon, but I don't really mind, doing this because it's a need, right? When you're like, some people are like, what do you mean you're going out and giving Narcan? Yeah, I'm giving Narcan. Why? Because maybe the homeless vet doesn't have a drug problem, but maybe they're in a camp and someone next to them's ODing.
Right.
You guys tracking, like, let's be honest, like that stuff goes on in the camps. So I take out cans, I take out distribution packs of Narcan, take out every type of hygiene product. And we even took a donation from the local Phillips food, like dog food company. When people, PJ, my man, that's my buddy. That's a good guy right there. That's a good guy. That guy went to bat for me when all this stuff went down. He was steady.
A hell of a guy.
Yeah. I mean, I met him like twice in life, but he's a standout guy, man. He's the guy. So, and now he's got Mr. Hall going to bat for us. So it's amazing. So, to answer the question with the homeless stuff, we take everything out there that we can carry. There's 4 or 5 of us packed up. One person's got hygiene. One person's got food. One person's got water. We take out our clinical nursing students from the local college who are going through nursing. They do a rotation with us for behavioral health. I take them out there. They do blood pressure checks, diabetic checks. I mean, we track through almost 14 camps. We spend about 4 hours going down the trail. Now, as far as giving them bags, yes. Each time we go out, we take different. That food bag, we come across people out there with dogs. So we'll take like a list and we'll run back home to my shed where I got these. I took 2 pallets of food donation, and we'll grab even dog food for the dogs. So everything just depends on what we got and what they need. So there's times where we don't have we'll go get what they need. We've come across a guy one time who his car was in the homeless camp. He was able to push it down the hill and get it and was working on it. And he needed 2 timing belts. I think 2 timing. He needed some kind of belt, not the serpentine belt, but the timing belt. And we went up to AutoZone and got the belt. It was like $155 for this belt because it was an old Subaru. So, I mean, Obviously I'm not going to be walking around with a timing belt. But the guy needed it, and we went and got it. That's how we do it. So not only do we do the homeless bags, we also take, if you guys have any people that are deployed, one of our partners sends care packages to deployed men and women. So we're taking care of homeless, and we're taking care of deployed. And it's not all us. So the one thing you guys will get to learn is Battleborn doesn't try to do everything. We utilize the other people that we partner with. See, that's the secret to this success. If you're willing to work together, anybody here would disagree? You can get a lot more shit done working together than you can on your own. I don't care how badass you are, right? Like, look at this. You guys are all coming together for a cause as compared to just one of us being on a Facebook Live. You got how many people zoomed in here? How many supports do you have on one platform? And that's the whole premise behind Battleborn. Together we rise. I always tell people, it's not just a cool tag on the back of my shirt. It's what we eat, sleep, and breathe. Thank you, man. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I noticed a comment that popped up about, some vets don't want help. Well, every vet needs help. If you have interaction just one time with somebody, yeah, you may get a bad taste in your mouth. But if you go back to that person and become a part of his life or her life, you'll see that they open up a lot more to you. Meeting somebody on the street, homeless or whatever, they're always on guard. Being in the military, you're always checking doors, you're always checking locks. That it's programmed into you. So if somebody just approaches you on the street, you're kind of set to where what do you want out of me? So don't give up. Just trying one time. If you're focused on helping them, help them. Show up, be there. If it's, I enjoy just talking to people. I mean, just to hear the stories and be able to listen. That is one of the biggest things. Is there is help, but just to listen helps a lot better.
Chris, you couldn't have said it any better, man. I'm going to tell you, when I take the students out into the homeless camps, right? They sometimes, like, it's emotional, man. I have to spend at least an hour in my car when everybody leaves, just kind of like, I don't know, decompressing, right? Because they see like what we see, what I get to see irregular, and they can't believe it. They can't believe that there's this many people living right where I'm taking them down, like behind some of the most high standard places in our area, right?
Right.
So what am I saying? Thanks, champ. What am I saying? I'm saying this. I tell the clinical nursing interns all the time. They're like, oh, I wish we could do more. I said, you know what you did? You listened to them. Sometimes it's the simplest thing of standing there while they're coming out of their camp and they're just talking to you and you're offering them supplies. And a lot of times they don't need it because other people come through, other outreach missions come through. And I tell the clinical nursing students all the time as we get through the whole end of the trail, what do you think the most valuable service you provided today was? And they're like, oh, well, we know this guy needed the hand sanitizer. No. Did you notice how long they talked to you? Yeah, that one lady, she was talking to us about everything, like from where she lived growing up and horseback riding. I said, that's the service, man. You're listening to them. That's when someone is heard, you can't do a better service than just hearing somebody.
Yeah, that's priceless.
Well, just to jump in on that for a second, through Beard Mob, I am my name is Bait, and everybody asks me why they call me Bait, and I'll sit down and I'll tell them 3 stories, and I'll tell them, pick which story I told you was real, and they'll pick one, and I'll just be blunt about it. Every story I tell you is real. It's just that I spent some time talking to you. So I baited you into talking to me, to sit down and spend a few minutes. And that's all people want, is just to hear someone, just to hear someone listen to them and be a part of their life.
So one of the guys, and you're right, especially in the homeless camp, but somebody said a little while back about, I heard you repeat it, about some vets don't want help. And you're right. But see, the trick is you'll hear me say this too if you watch any of the things. Not all veterans do need help. But what I've seen that helps when it's not about you needing help, it's about being there for the next brother or sister that does. So I've invited countless people to our support groups. And I can't make this up, guys. I'll send you, Chris, I'll send you the one link when we get done of the veteran that just chose to do a testimony that we helped a while back. They were like, oh, I don't need any help. I don't need a support group. And I'd be like, all right, well, just come check it out. And then they come and they're like, oh my God, like I completely had what that was all about wrong. Like they get the same feeling I did from going out into that camp of being there to listen to the next person. And as time goes on, they realize that when they realize my secret, want to hear my bait, Chris? This is my bait. I don't care what you believe, what I believe, how different we are, where you come from, where I come from. I believe in one human component. When we help others, we help ourselves.
We heal ourselves. We heal ourselves from all the destruction we've seen, whether it be first responders or military. We've seen the depths of hell, and for us to come and do good, it heals us. It heals us inside.
So I get these guys out there, man. That's it. I get them back serving. That's what it's about. And I think, you're right. some vets will tell you they don't need help, but the secret is to like, okay, and just let them think that, and then just kind of we have a really good vetting process. You know, like I said, every single veteran I come across isn't in dire straits. I got vets that have, right now we just helped a vet. She just got discharged from the Army honorably, stationed in Maryland. She's got a great job, and she's applying for a federal job, which they have to go through USA jobs. So it's a whole different resume system, right? So she doesn't need help. She doesn't need food. She doesn't need housing assistance. You know what she needs? She needs help with a resume. So my team is helping her to do that resume, because if you don't do the USA job resume correctly, the way it scans it, if they don't see these particular points, and I'm not doing a great job of explaining it, but if they don't see these particular points, your application doesn't even get looked at. It has to be like in a format that it picks up on these things that make you qualify. So here's a woman who's working. She doesn't need food. She doesn't need housing. She's okay. She just needs a little help in doing something that she's not familiar with.
I got to tell you, you're doing a great job at explaining, I think, exactly what you guys do, and it's not just one simple thing. We as the pack adopted "Be the Change." You guys have taken, that's absolutely what you and your wife did. You guys saw something, you didn't like it, and you were the change. And like I said, for anybody that might just be tuning in, you said you might not be explaining it well. I don't know any other better way of explaining what you guys do. It doesn't matter what they need help with. From a resume to fix their house, to fix the car, to getting them a counselor, and everything in between. There's not a gray area with you. And what you guys will go to your lengths to help someone with. And I honestly, I can't think of anybody else that doesn't have stipulations on what they will help you with. Whereas you guys, doesn't matter what it is, come to us. You're saying come to us, we'll figure it out. And what other people
we believe in like back on the thing where all vets don't want help, right? So especially a handout. So our motto is, we don't do the handout, we do a hand up, right? So you come to me and you're like, oh, I don't want to ask for help. And it, again, I can't do it all. We have our 7 peer-based, holistic, support-based programming free for vets and their families. Outside of the programming, outside of the small financial assistance, outside of the new transportation program, and outside of the Veteran Resource Center, I don't provide housing money. We have a food program with the local food bank. We hand out 100 meals a month, 50 in 2 different counties in Pennsylvania where we're close to. So twice a month we hand out the military share food program with the National Guard. We picked up where the National Guard left off pre-pandemic. So we're now supplying food to military veterans and their family members in need. We do that. So we do the food, we do the homeless outreach, we do the center, we do transportation. So again, there are going to be things that come across my plate that I don't do. I don't have team members that do it. It's not one of our services. That's where we don't hand out, we hand up. We're not just going to say, oh yeah, we don't do that like the people we worked with did. We said, hey, we don't do that, but we're going to take you to someone who does. And we're going to give you these 3 referrals. And you know what? Let's call them while you're here, or let's take you over there. And if we don't get someone on the phone, I'll say, hey, you call them, circle back with me tomorrow. Let me know who you got in touch with, and then we'll follow up so that they feel like someone's not just giving them a phone number and turning them away. We're going the extra mile with them. We want to make sure because if they've come to us, sometimes I gotta stop because I get chills and I almost want to get emotional, or I don't want to cry on here, right? Oh, you bearded tough guy. You're good, brother.
Hey, let it out. You wouldn't be the first, I promise.
Well, I'm just gonna take a sip of this cold soda
Well, while you take a sip of that, I just wanted to say, you've been touching people. PJ Carroll agreed. Cole Beckley, he said this is Touch Me Tonight. Michael Price has agreed with Cole. Mr. John Lynchfield, I know it's his Facebook user, but he said he wishes that he had this 3 years ago, a couple of years ago for his dad. So yeah, I mean, you and this is exactly why we wanted to do this show with y'all is we're getting the word out for what you're doing, for what Mr. Hall's doing. So, I mean, what our mission is working by y'all being on here and using our platform. And then they have idiots like this that say that I cry every night.
Oh man.
With
So,
all this test,
Go ahead.
go ahead, Mr. Yarnell.
So I'll show you something. I hope I can hold it up and show you this. But my grandfather was in World War II, right after Pearl Harbor, fighting against the Germans, right? And my aunt, my great aunt, his sister, was one of the first women to serve in the Navy under what they call the Navy waves. So,
Really?
here's a picture. Here's a picture of the two of them. Let me see. Where's the camera here?
Right there, go up. Right there, and go
There
up.
you
Right
go.
there. Right
That's
there.
my grandfather and my great aunt Theda. Now my grandfather passed away in 1996, and my aunt Theda, you see her there. She's one of the first women to serve in the war as a Navy wave. Okay.
Oh,
now I'll tell you something. My aunt Theda, she is 101 years old and she lives in South Carolina. She's still kicking, man.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
I have a message. I have a message saved on my phone. Listen, guys, I'll be honest. There are days I feel like fucking quitting, man. Like the need outweighs the workers. And I don't care who you are. I don't care what you've seen, how tough you are, how thick skinned you are. When you see people that you just can't fucking help, it kills you. Right? It kills you. And we get one now and then. We get one that is one single barrier is stopping me from being able to help them. Like, let's say they fell on hard times, but their income threshold is too high for the VA to give him any money. You know, they look at things like, well, how much income do you have? You know, like there's programs in this area where people fall on hard times, but if they're under the poverty level of $23,000, they can't get no financial assistance. What the hell could you do with $23,000 a year? You can't.
Not a lot.
So
Not a lot.
Before I break my legs falling off the high horse, my aunt Theda sent me a message after I was about 6 months old. And my grandfather raised me. I would watch him cry himself to sleep every night, talking about shooting down the planes as a gunner's mate on the United States Navy ships when they would tell them to fire because the kamikaze planes were swirling down and they would have to fire, and how sometimes they hit their own planes, right? So I watched this man cry himself to sleep until the end of his days as a young boy, not knowing what the hell he was talking about, right? So now I go to the Marines, all that other stuff. And my aunt Theda sends me a message. At this point, she's 98 years old. And she sends me a message through Facebook, through her daughter. And she says to me, and I still have it, she says, I'm so proud of what you're doing. I wish there was something like this for your grandfather and I when we returned from the war. And that's the shit that keeps me going.
Yeah.
That's the shit that keeps me going. Like how many guys, like the gentleman put up there with his, I think was his dad from Vietnam. I get that all the time. Those guys are the guys that paved the way for us to what we have now. The Vietnam guys, again, I could show you guys that are on my team that when they returned from Iraq and they were coming in on that bus, the people lined up on that runway were Vietnam guys with welcome home signs. And why? Because they didn't get it. I got two members on my team. One is a Purple Heart Vietnam veteran. The other one is an Iraq combat veteran. And we did a show for the local news where they were talking in a room, and them two guys cried because Anthony told John how much it meant to him that those guys were lined up on the tarmac when he came home. And John said to Anthony, we do that because we didn't get it. Like how that's the shit right there. Like it blows my mind. All
That's
right, let me
something right there.
That's it. I mean,
So let's go. So we got on the 23rd, Mr. Hall. We have on the 23rd. We have a couple of categories right here that we're going to be doing. We have some pretty big, well-named folks that's in the judge lineup, and I'm really liking the judges. Not because my name's on it, because of the other people that I'll be judging with. But Mr. Hall, go ahead and talk about it. This is one of the examples of the trophies. So first, second, and third, we'll be getting Battleborn dog tags.
Those are awesome, by the way.
Go ahead, Mr. Hall. Take it away. Go ahead and talk about your comp and what to expect and what we're doing.
With all that testimony, who can end with that? You know, I'm here to assist Mr. Yarnell in any way possible. And this competition, I just want to say that sadly, we've only got about 24 people signed up, and we need more. We need more to help pay back Mr. Yarnell for what he has lost. This is not a good week in the bearding community with all the stories that's going on, with all the negativity going on. But we have to rise above that. We have to be a community of support, not a community of tearing people down. As you showed, I've got trophies, 30 of them. And thanks to Mr. Aaron Johnston, he's going to throw in some product to help out. And we need to get some more people involved. You brought up judges: Aaron Johnston, Phil Jones, Cajun Meyer, Summer Hibbler, Johnny Rodriguez. These are big name people in this community, and I would be honored.
Get your kids involved. It's not. I have them. I'm telling you what. I didn't think my kids would do it this quick. When I brought the idea up to them, both of my girls made their beards the night before. It took them, and I said something. They had. I thought I was gonna have to walk them through it. My kids had the entire damn thing done within a matter of 30 minutes, and they could have probably spent longer, but they had fun doing it, and it's amazing if you tell them to make a beard what they can do. And it's it's get them into it, man. Get them into it.
Well, I want to say Mr. Sandy over in the UK, his whole family. I mean, you talk about bearding, his whole family, kids, wife, himself, they're all involved. Talk about family being in the middle of it. And same thing with you, country. I mean, you and your girls. It's a family thing that instills in these children more service, more help. Thankfully, we do have 5 kids signed up, and I'm excited about it. I feel sorry for these judges because we've got a lot of submissions that I've posted everywhere, so you can see what's going on. This has nothing to do with what happened in June. This has everything to do with what we can do for Mr. Yarnell right now. June is gone. June is forgotten. The individual's forgotten. So let's move on and show that we're here to support each other. That's all I ask is let's get involved.
Absolutely.
I'm getting.
I wanted to say one thing, Mr. Hall.
Go ahead, Mr. Big Country.
No, I was gonna say the first thing out of my 10-year-old's mouth, Abigail. She's popped her head in here a couple of times tonight. The very first thing out of her mouth when I told her that I signed her up for 2 competitions, because she's doing 2 different online comps, was she wanted to know what charities are they for, Dad? And so I sat down and we talked about what charities each one was for. So at 10 years old, she's already, where I was at just a few years ago. I was learning this stuff, and at 10, she wants to know everything that I'm doing. She wants to know about. And she wants to know about the charities. She wants to be involved, and it's our kids are going to be the one to take over when we can't do it any longer. So now's the time to get them in while they're young.
That's
exactly
right.
The main thing is you're showing how to open up your heart at an early age. That charity outreach, whatever it is. These children. My son is 19 years old, and he's already starting to grow his beard out just so he could be a part of this. He is serving for right now, but he's doing what he can, and he's
a great man. I've had the pleasure of meeting him. He's a great
Well,
man.
thank you for that. Thank you. But it's just like I said, we need to do what we can. Let's leave the negativity in the back and let's push forward. As I said, my hands are involved on 3 comps right now, just to show that I am reliable and I am here and I am not backing down. I'm going to continue forward no matter what the negative talk is about. Battle-born beard battle, we want to make it a success and do everything we can to help Mr. Yarnell out.
And I'm going to put that, what I just had on the screen, I'll put that on the PAX page so people will see how to get involved, how much the comp is. The first category is 15, and it's 10 for anything additional. Battleborn beardbattle@gmail.com for entry fees and donations. I'll put this on the PAX page, my personal page. We have a special guest that Chris Yarnell loves. They're like BFFs, so let me go ahead and bring him on. PJ!
I don't know. Me and Mr. Yarnell might have a problem with this. PJs or something. Is there PJs or something we need to talk about?
No, our bromance is still going strong there, country.
All right.
He's all yours, man. Like he's all yours, bro. Chris is my new bromance. We got a fishing trip planned, right, Mr. Hall? I'm coming out and we're going fishing.
Oh hell. I want to bet though. When? Where?
Yeah, where?
Send me the address.
No, you stay with PJ, your bromance stuff. We're going fishing.
Oh Lord.
That is hilarious.
Oh shit. PJ, I want to thank you for being on because, as I said, I'm trying to leave the negative out of it as much as possible. But Mr. PJ was in the room when the money was divided between the charities, and I just wanted to ask him to step in and back me up. We did what was right. We did what we could, and the individual did what he did, and that's just all there is to it. But PJ was in the room at the time, and he can attest that we did everything we could possibly do right back in June, and now we're just making up for what was lost.
Exactly. We're figuring out our path forward, and we're going to forget about all the negativity and everything that one individual did and figure out what we can do to better support Battleborn and keep this moving, keep the inertia.
Exactly.
Well, we appreciate everybody to support and not tear down. Again, there's been a lot of negativity going on for the last few weeks, and we're here to show that we're going to be a part of this no matter what, no matter how far you bring our names down into the depths. We are here to support. We're here to help, and we're going to do this. And I know I'm standing up and saying, look, I did what was right, and I'm going to continue to do what is right. And I appreciate Mr. Yarnell and PJ stepping up and backing me up in all this. I love y'all, and I love this community, and I'm going to do everything I can to support it. And I will continue to do it no matter what.
That's absolutely right. Yeah, this is going to be awesome. And to break up the mood, to make it a little bit better, Mr. Yarnell, this is what I'm talking about when I say they have a bromance. It's real. It's real. This is the shit that these two. What the fuck is happening right now?
You know what's even more fuck is if you took the time to put that shit on the StreamYard just to do that.
I did. And you know what? They might or might not have flags coming with that shit on it.
Oh my god! Yeah. All right. Right there is when I burn Cajun's food. He'll never let me forget that because there's a flag. Here's stickers of when I burn Cajun's food. Up there's an air freshener from when I burn Cajun's food. Everywhere I look is where I burn Cajun's fucking food. I'm never gonna forget it. My god!
It could be a lot worse.
Tell them how I walked out the airport Saturday.
Holding the damn flag while they burning this food. Holding boy guys like that. I went, here I am. I went right with it. Here I am.
Oh my god, we have fucking fun. I love
man.
fucking with these fuckers. And I just add PJ into the fun now because he's just one of my brothers.
Absolutely.
Well, again, I want to say we have until the 23rd to make this more of a success than what it already is. Like I said, I would love to see over 50 people involved on this. We're halfway there. We need anybody out there that can jump in on it. I want to bring up there's people out there that doesn't even want to compete, that just throws money for the donation. Riley Griffin, I'm sorry. He's special dude. He's great dude. He didn't even want to participate. He just threw some money in there to help us out. So donations, if you don't want to compete, that's fine. Anything to help Battle Borne out, we're here. Let's just make this a success, please. Everything's on board. Anybody can come in and look at what's going on. You're going to see every submission I get, I'm posting so everybody can see that, people are getting involved more and more every day. I had 4 people jump in today. I put their submissions out. I'm putting them out, everywhere I can, especially Appalachian Bearded Mafia. Go on that page and you can see every submission that's come in. We're here. We're going to do this, and we've got a few more days. So please jump in and help us.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do this.
So I was also today, I had to meet with the Bearded Villains, so I know PJ knows them because that's actually where I met those guys at that first competition last year. And I told the captain, Dennis, to make sure he reaches out to you, Chris, to get the information. And, as we were all communicating, PJ and I in the beginning, and then him introducing me to Chris, I didn't let those guys know what happened, right? But this is what I want to share with you guys. So today when I met with them and I told them that you guys were doing this, I don't know how well you know those guys, but they shared with me that they felt the same way I did. The respect we have for you guys for stepping up is, and listen, I mean this. I know you guys, I've never met Mr. Hall in person, met PJ a couple times, but I mean this sincerely. Just getting the chance, as you guys said earlier, this was a negative thing that happened in the way people look at it. But this might sound really crazy, but in a positive light, I got to meet a whole new bunch of kick-ass people. And, sometimes things, I don't want to say they work out for a reason, but no matter how much, I know Mr. Hall is hell-bent intent on making money for us, but I probably told him 6 times, so I got to say it in front of everybody again so that he can hear it. Just meeting you guys has been a blessing, and whatever money is raised, we'll be damn grateful for it. But it just, what you guys are doing for me and for our veterans speaks more volumes than the money. Okay, so just know that. We really appreciate
that. I do want to do a shout out to the individual that did our trophies. They're called mydogtag.com. They have stepped up and taken care of us in ways that they took care of us on this comp. Please, anybody that may want to jump in and do some kind of trophy as we're doing for this comp, reach out to them because they're happy to help in any way that possible. They're a great company to work with. So I do want to give a shout out to them, especially being veterans and dog tags and things like that. It's a little bit special to us. And I want to thank them.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
PJ, you want a solo moment? Well, you have a solo moment. Go ahead, PJ.
I'm just happy to be on here. I'm very happy that we're supporting Battle Borne. It's been great working with Chris, both Chris's, and supporting them in any of their activities. I believe the Walk for Recovery is coming up early next year, Chris.
Yes, sir. We'll be doing it again. We'll be coming up on the 4th annual Walk for Recovery. As I mentioned, I think before you jumped on, PJ, I had talked about the Walk for Mental Health. And
Okay.
I didn't get to tell him the part, but that walk was created, gentlemen, when we were a year old, and the whole mindset was we knew how hard it was selling one T-shirt out of the trunk of our car. So part of our give back of the whole Together We Rise just not being a bunch of bullshit that we spew was that our team and I created this idea that we know how many nonprofits didn't get the help because they weren't big time names. They weren't financially stable to promote themselves and pay for marketing like we did. And like I said, we hustled. We ran around and sold out of the trunk. And that being said, we came up with this crazy idea. It's not so like a good idea anymore now that we're moving towards this veterans transition home that we want to purchase. But it sounded good 4 years ago. And here's the idea. Let's make a community event, and all money raised, we'll find 2 other nonprofits that are just like us, grassroots, community-centric, less than 5 years old, no government grants, and we'll raise the money and give it to them. So in 3 years to date now, the 3rd walk was this May, PJ attended. In 3 years, Battleborn has raised $49,500 and has given it to 7 total nonprofits to help them on their mission, because we knew how valuable it would have been for someone to come up to us when we were new and say, here's a couple $1,000, go make your mission happen. So hopefully some of you guys can make it to the 4th annual walk now. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
No, seriously. That's, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, we have
amazing.
a page for the walk. If you guys want to check out the walk page, it's Lehigh Valley Walk for Recovery. It's owned by Battleborn. We just don't mingle the walking with Battleborn because people will get confused and then start sending messages that they want to ask about the walk to Battleborn. So it's under our 501, but we have a separate Facebook page. We only start posting as the walk gets closer each year, but you can always go on there and see some pictures of some of the stuff that we do. It's pretty great. It's just all about bringing the community together. Because you know what? I think we were talking a little earlier, and I don't want to backtrack and drive people nuts, but we were talking about how the veterans are, and there was just a lot of misconception, right? So here's one of the other things I see, and I'm sure maybe Mr. Hall can attest to it. There's such this unnecessary gap between civilians and veterans, right? The civilians are like, oh, I want to help them, but I don't understand them. And the veterans are like, oh, they can't understand us. And part of that may be true, but part of it is not true. Like,
we're all human. We're all human.
And if we don't bring them together, that's never going to stop, right? It's bringing them together to show them that we're all more alike than we are different.
Right.
That's it. Yeah. Like, so the community walk. Is that you? Oh, the boss is home, guys. I'll see if she'll pop her face on. She just got home from school. So not only does my wife work full-time at the hospital in the OR and run all of Battleborn's administrative and handle everything as far as the finances, writing the checks to the people that, we have no paid staff. We have no paid staff at Battleborn. We're 100% volunteer, but she writes all the checks to the rent of the facility, and then she goes to school 3 nights a week too. So when I tell you she's a superstar, guys, she's a superstar. But anyway, she said I'm just saying that because she walked in. Don't tell her the things I was saying before she got home.
I do want to say that if anybody does travel up for the Walk for Recovery, you're more than welcome to crash at my house. I'll cook for you, and I probably won't even burn it.
Cajun, that's a good input, bud.
But will you take pictures of each of you eating the sausage McMuffin sandwiches like we saw before with you and Big Country?
Now that was a burger that I made.
You know what, hey, PJ, there's been a lot of requests for that. Maybe we need to start charging for those.
I think so. I think you're right.
I'll get with you after the show. We'll figure the shit out.
I think it'd be a good idea. I think it'd be a good idea to get Mr. Rodriguez involved to make us up some stickers.
Oh,
there she is. There's the badass.
There is the superstar. Hi, superstar.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Miss Cadence. Obviously, you know now her dad. She was an army brat. Her name is Cadence.
You wouldn't be able to tell that with that name, right?
No, not at all.
Nice to meet you, Miss Cadence.
Awesome to meet you.
She's like, all right, I'm leaving now.
I'm still here. I'm just
She's here. She's just
She's
I
exhausted.
love it. If you would, we are complete opposites. When I met her, she said like 2 words to me and turned around. And I was like, doesn't this woman know who I think I am? Like, how you gonna only say 2 words to me? She can go through life and never talk to another person as long as she lives and be completely content. She's just not like she's a great person. She's just not very she's got a rough exterior, that's all. You gotta break through.
Yeah.
Once you're
There
breaking
you
through,
go. There you go.
yeah. Got it. She's a softie. Hon, I'm just on here because they're showing me what I could be someday if I keep going.
I see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a baby beard. Guys, I try. It gets like this long, and that's about it, man. I can't get it like, my barber's like, you got to blow dry. I'm like, no, I got curly hair, bro. It goes like that. It doesn't go like this.
2 words: biotin and product. And I'm sure everybody here can give you some product ideas.
Yeah, I tried the bomb. I do the butter. I got the balm. I do the beard wash, the soap. I just got really curly hair in it. I mean, it's longer than it looks. It curls right up. You know?
See how we do that? Mr. Hall did that, and then this is where I go beard it and get your beard products.
There you go. Right there it is.
What a lead in I set up, right? What a lead in.
So, I got to tell you guys, as much as quiet as you think my wife is, from the other room, she just chuckled and said, hey, it's longer than it looks. Heard that before.
Oh, God, it's great.
Oh, my God.
Oh, mercy.
I'm glad she thinks she's funny.
Go check out wearebattleborn.com. Go check out the shop. There's sweaters, hoodies, hats. There's all kinds of stuff on there. There's ways that y'all can get involved with Mr. Chris's all of everything he's into. Go check out the website. Go get you a hoodie or 2 or 10. I don't care. But go search the shop. October 23rd is the last day for registration. And then on
if I could interrupt you for a minute, Cajun, real quickly. Several people have went straight to Battleborn trying to sign up for this comp, and Chris Yarnell has had to send them my way. So please just read the directions on the comp page. When Chris gets bothered again, it takes away from what he's trying to do. I've had several people that he's had to direct over to me. So I'm sorry to interrupt you, Cajun, but
no.
Just simply read the directions on the comp site, and it tells you where to go.
That's very important information. That is important information. What else we got? Go check out the website. And if you need anything like a pool cover or a
hot air balloon,
or anything, and you want it out of leather, go see Jacked Up Leatherworks. He likes making the really super big stuff. He'll love you for it. And if you are a fisherman and you want to get into some baits, go check out Southern Goon.
Southern Goon right now, for all you crappie fishermen, he has just dropped some new crappie baits and some badass colors. I'm telling you, you're gonna want to go check them out. The fish are gonna be eating them up. Promise you that.
PJ, you remember we had the hats on order?
Yes.
That's the leather patch that's gonna go on our hats.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting them in. So that's being processed right now. So I'm looking forward to that. So I love you, Jacob.
All right, guys, I need to jump off. I have a 1 hour and 15-minute drive home still from the airport.
Love you, PJ.
PJ, be safe, brother. Love you.
Take care.
All right.
PJ.
Love you guys. Have a good one.
Later.
And so much good has come out of this already, besides the fact that you are shouting us out there. Like I didn't get a chance to talk to Mr. Hall yet, but the gentleman that did the dog tags, such an amazing thing that he did that for Mr. Hall. And I actually think we want to talk to him about making them like not with the trophies on the back of like which categories, but maybe even just having him make us dog tags with something else on the back that we could offer people like through our organization as a token of appreciation. One of the things, see if I can show it to you. I don't have one in here, but like we did this for a little while. I thought this was pretty cool, but we have our own K-bar through Cutco. And I'm not promoting products. We don't sell these on the website, but they made them for us. And the idea was that if people became like a recurring donor, this
Right
is just
there.
one of the pocket knives. Yeah.
Okay.
So if
There
you
you
look
go.
at it, it's got the Battleborn engraved on the blade, and it's just a typical pocket knife, yet it's Cutco. So it's American made, lifelong,
Right.
and they made us a K-bar. You could probably find it somewhere on. And where I was going with all of this is I'd like to talk to Mr. Hall about, supporting that gentleman that made those dog tags for us, because that's the type of people we are. He did something nice, and if he does something like that, maybe we could give him business by buying some dog tags to be a giveaway.
Absolutely. And that's all he asked for was to get some promotion on this, and we need to do what we can for him too, because
Yeah.
he's
Let's,
really stepped up.
We'll be having him on. We'll be having him on the show here soon, so be on the lookout
Awesome.
for that.
Perfect.
That'd be
I
great.
know Mr. Hall had asked me, and we had talked about it, and I got so swamped. But I'd like to get like the wording from what he does, his website, and make a proper post with like a picture of the tags, thanking him for that, and then doing that, a shout out on our Facebook page. And where I was going with that is I know that the website keeps going underneath, but guys, I appreciate the site. We don't keep up on the site as well as we do as the social media page. So if anybody's listening, and you really want to see the magnitude of what we do, I mean, there is stuff on the site. It's great. You can see like the basic stuff, but go to the Facebook or the Instagram pages, because there's where we post like what we're doing every day to day. You'll see pictures of the partners we work with. You'll see our groups get posted, our yogas, all that other stuff. You'll see more of the day-to-day operations, because it's a lot easier to manage social media than it is a website. Constantly changing the events on the website, that stuff
Right.
that gets to be monotonous. We're a small team, so it's easier to make a quick post on Facebook than it is to go in and change a website every day.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Again,
Yeah,
I
Agree
want to
with
thank
that.
I want to thank the pack for letting us come on and spending the time and promoting and showing what we're doing and backing up what we have done. I want to thank you all, Cajun Big Country, and look forward to everything as a brotherhood.
Hey, we love you, brother.
We love you.
We love y'all.
Well,
So-
all right, guys. Well, we almost hitting the hour and a half mark, so we'll start posting. People, be on the lookout. Go share it on y'all's pages. We all support each other. We help each other. So let's do what we can to get as many people in this comp. And Mr.
Right.
Chris Yarnell, thank you so much for taking time out of your night to come on. I know you're a busy man.
I appreciate that, guys, but there's no thanks necessary. What you guys are doing for us, I can't. Words couldn't properly articulate the gratitude I feel in my heart for Mr. Hall and all you guys and inviting me on the show. This is pretty cool. I want to come back on the show even when it's not a beard competition. I mean, I just want to come back.
Okay.
And
You're welcome anytime, my friend.
yeah,
Anytime.
man, I like this. This is great.
You're
great.
totally welcome. You're always, the door is always open.
Hey, Cajun, before you hit that outro, brother, I want to say one thing. Can I steal your line? I'm going to steal your quote. Everybody out there, remember there's a ton of nice people in the world. If you can't find one, be one. It's not
Absolutely.
hard. It's
Absolutely.
not hard.
It's in your
Not.
heart. Just got to find it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Love y'all.
Chris, take care, everyone. Thank y'all. Bye.